But this specific case was a 1.5 billion euro fine that was assessed in 2019. And in it, the EU charged Google with abusing its dominant position in search advertising to really strong arm website publishers into not accepting ad placements from rivals. And these are specifically rival search engines, so Microsoft and Yahoo. Now, today, the Intermediate Court said that when assessing the penalty for that, the EU sort of overstepped its bounds. However, it did sort of largely uphold the finding that Google's practices were abusive in nature. So, to some extent, Google may want to hold off on the confetti. But on the other hand, a win is a win, and it certainly hasn't had too many of those recently, especially battling the EU.
So let's take a step back, Tamlin. Give us a sense here. And, in the States here, as you all know, the regulators over decades have taken a very light touch to regulating technology. And that, one could argue, has been a real enabler of the growth of technology in Silicon Valley. Europe takes a different view, a little bit heavier hand here in terms of that. And this goes all the way back to Microsoft 25 or 30 years ago. Where is the EU these days in looking at big tech?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, Paul. And just yesterday, the new list of European commissioners was appointed. So gone are Marguerite Vestager, who really has led, in large part, the crusade against a lot of these big tech companies over the past 5 to 7 years. However, I don't think we're going to see a significant shift in the way EU looks at what they see as abuses by large tech companies. And of course, most of those large tech companies are American firms. It sees these firms as having abused their dominant positions. Mm-hmm. And coming out of cases like the one that was resolved today, it wrote a new set of rules that are really going to make it easier in the future to bring enforcement actions. And they're going to be much swifter. This case started in 2016. Today was actually just an intermediate court resolution, so that's 8 years. So we could have another few years of this appealed.
Oh my gosh,
in the future, I
8
think
years.
there's going to be swifter enforcement. So I don't think we're likely to see a sea change in how the EU addresses big tech.